headlines of this hour on VTV News. Prime Minister urges choosing optimal solutions to political system reorganization. And breakthrough policy to attract talented professionals. In our world news, U.S. investors race to comply with new tech rules.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News Live. I'm Huyền Trân with the top stories. State President Lương Cường presented decisions granting the title of Ambassador of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to 5 officials and diplomats at a ceremony held in Hanoi on January 2nd. The title recipients were Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyễn Minh Hằng, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Phạm Thanh Bình, Vietnamese Ambassador to India Nguyễn Thanh Hải, Deputy Director and Deputy Chief of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Office Ngô Toàn Thắng, and Nguyễn Vũ Tùng, a senior lecturer at the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on Thursday chaired the 7th meeting of the government's steering committee to review the implementation of Resolution 18, which aims to continue reform and reorganize the political system to ensure that it is streamlined and operates more efficiently and effectively. More in the following.
At the meeting, the steering committee reported that all 30 ministry-level and governmental agencies had submitted their organizational restructuring plans and summary reports on the resolution implementation as requested. The Prime Minister also directed the Ministry of Home Affairs to gather constructive feedback from its members and finalize a report before presenting it to the Central Steering Committee and the Politburo. He commended the ministries and agencies for their swift efforts in advising the government on issuing 3 key decrees related to policies and benefits for officials, public employees, and Army personnel involved in the political system restructuring, as well as incentives to attract and retain talent within various agencies and units of the party, state, Vietnam Fatherland Front, and socio-political organizations. At the Prime Minister's request, restructuring organizational apparatuses must go hand in hand with streamlining and improving the quality of public officials and employees. Addressing internal issues within agencies and units is crucial, ensuring the legitimate rights and interests of officials, public employees, and workers are protected. Additionally, a decree on public asset management must be submitted to the government promptly, providing a legal basis to tackle public asset-related issues during the restructuring process. When restructuring state-owned economic groups and corporations, the government leader requested a careful examination of successful models, best practices, and effective approaches to identify optimal solutions. He said the government will directly manage only a select number of strategic groups that serve as core pillars of the national economy and act as tools for macroeconomic management. The remaining enterprises will be transferred to relevant ministries for management.
And in his New Year 2025 message, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính highlighted innovation, creativity, and breakthrough solutions as key drivers for Vietnam's development and prosperity. Despite global challenges in 2024, including geopolitical tensions, economic fluctuations, and military conflicts, Vietnam achieved significant socio-economic growth. The government prioritized macroeconomic stability, inflation control, and infrastructure advancement through flexible and proactive policies. These efforts have built a strong foundation for successfully implementing the 2025 Socio-Economic Development Plan, aligning with long-term national goals for 2021 to 2025. And with innovation at the core, Vietnam aims to accelerate growth and solidify its position in a rapidly evolving global landscape. Experts, managers, business leaders, and top scientists are to be recruited as public employees. And under a groundbreaking new decree, they can now earn up to $3,000 per month. This policy aims to attract and promote talented individuals to work in agencies, organizations, and units of the party, the state, the Vietnam Fatherland Front, and other socio-political organizations. It establishes a strong legal foundation for drawing talents into the public sector.
The Institute of Chemistry under the Vietnam Academy of Science and Technology employs 160 research staff. Leading experts at the institute earn a maximum of $1,000 per month. Despite the need for more researchers to tackle multidisciplinary challenges, the rate of salaries has made it difficult to attract top talents.
Decree 179 is a breakthrough in remuneration policy, enabling the Institute to attract high-quality researchers.
Outstanding students and young scientists recruited as senior specialists will receive 100% of their salary during the internship period. For 5 years post-recruitment, they will also receive an additional allowance of 150% of their monthly base salary. Experts, managers, and leading scientists recruited as public employees will receive an allowance of 300% of their current salary.
These breakthrough policies will encourage young people to pursue careers in science, attract global talents, and even prompt researchers to move from private to public institutions.
Resolution 57 identifies science, technology, innovation, and digital transformation as key drivers of national development. Decree 179 supports this vision by prioritizing people as the foundation for scientific advancement.
This policy aims to motivate talented professionals to join the public sector by offering competitive compensation that aligns with individuals' skills and contributions. It is expected to improve the quality of human resources and enhance the efficiency of state agencies, contributing significantly to national progress.
Vietnam's Investment Support Fund will offer up to 50% of initial investment costs to investors for semiconductors and artificial intelligence, AI research and development R&D projects. The government's Decree 182/2024 stipulates the support for establishing, managing, and using the fund, which came into force on December 31st, 2024. In order to qualify for such support, the firm must have no tax arrears, and the R&D investments must positively impact the country's innovation and technology sectors. In addition to the support exclusively for semiconductor and AI firms, the fund will also assist high technology firms, businesses with high technology products, companies with high technology applications, and those with R&D center investments. Vietnam's stock market started 2025 on a positive note, with a modest gain as the VN Index approached the 1,270-point threshold. However, liquidity continued to decline, remaining at low levels, while foreign investors resumed net selling, albeit mildly. In 2024, Vietnam's stock market demonstrated resilience and growth, despite global macroeconomic headwinds. And looking ahead to 2025, the securities sector aims to achieve market reclassification, enhance information technology infrastructure, ensure transparency and security, and focus on investor education to meet international standards and strengthen Vietnam's integration into the global financial system. And under a recent decree issued by the government, some goods and services will continue to benefit from a 2% reduction in value-added tax VAT until June 30th. After being in place for 3 years, this tax reduction is considered one of the most effective policies for supporting consumers and businesses.
The 2% VAT reduction, first introduced during the Lunar New Year shopping season, boosted confidence among consumers and businesses.
With many items discounted, I feel more comfortable making purchases.
This policy helps retail businesses maintain purchasing power while helping manufacturing businesses stabilize prices.
After 3 years of the 2% VA reduction, retail sales grew from $188.5 billion USD in 2021 to $243.54 billion USD by 2023. The VAT exemption also supported cash flow, helping businesses recover.
This is a valuable resource for market development, helping businesses reduce production and operational costs.
This policy helps businesses reconnect with the market, create jobs, and stimulate sales.
Over the past 3 years, this policy has supported businesses and individuals with over $4.87 billion USD. It is forecasted to provide about $982 million USD in the next 6 months.
Coming up next on VTV News. Farmers struggle with saltwater intrusion in VTV province. And new fines for jumping red lights show drivers being generally more law-abiding. You're watching VTV News Live. Increasing salinity levels in the Zaohua Estuary, Choutang District, VTV Province, have turned the lives of local farmers upside down, especially those who have been preparing for surging flower demand as the Tet holiday draws near. Mekong Delta farmers are now facing a severe shortage of irrigation water.
Saltwater intrusion has been the greatest concern of them and other local farmers in Zaolam Commune. Them is likely to face a huge loss of profits as its flower growing area experiences a severe shortage of irrigation water.
I don't know where to get fresh water. Prolonged saltwater intrusion will severely damage my flower garden. We don't know how to protect our crops.
Due to a poor system of drainage sluices and embankments, saltwater intrusion has penetrated canals and rivers in Choutang District. Although local farmers take proactive measures to store fresh water, saltwater intrusion has become more severe and unpredictable, causing devastating effects on crops.
Saltwater intrusion disrupts the soil structure and reduces water availability for crops. Plant growth is limited.
Saltwater intrusion has caused severe damage to farmers, with their income dropping by more than 50%.
The unexpected spike in the Gedai River's salinity levels can be attributed to the shortage of fresh-water inflow from upstream. In addition, rising sea level drives saltwater farther inland.
The biodiversity-rich mangrove forest of Cà Mau offers significant economic opportunities, and in recent years, locals have expanded beyond traditional forestry by integrating sustainable practices like organic shrimp farming under the forest canopy and organic rice production that meets export standards.
Nier's family has leased forest land for 20 years. The 5-hectare stream farming operation, combined with income from crabs, fish, and timber, has improved their standard of living. Like other families in the area, they practice eco-friendly stream farming beneath the forest canopy.
Once the land is properly managed, the shrimp thrive. If there are shrimp that don't meet size requirements, we replace them with another batch.
The Det Muik Protective Forest in Cà Mau spans nearly 24,000 hectares. The Forest Management Board has leased most of this land to local residents for 20 years, providing long-term stability for sustainable production.
The locals are knowledgeable and manage the land directly. We only visit occasionally to offer guidance on legal issues and forestry practices.
Vietnam's forestry sector now accounts for 70 to 80% of annual agricultural exports, valued at over $18 billion. These sustainable forestry practices not only stabilize local incomes, but also support the broader national economy.
Along with technical activities, we focus on forest protection and community involvement. Vietnam's forest cover has reached 42.02%, proving the success of Government Directive Number 13.
Vietnam's forests hold vast untapped potential. In 2023, national parks and natural reserves generate over $25 million in income, while carbon credit sales brought in more than $42 million. These initiatives are improving the lives of forest-dependent communities, enabling them to thrive and prosper.
On Thursday afternoon, $1.9 million was funded to Dien Bien province to implement the Eliminate Temporary and Dilapidated Houses program, sponsored by the Vietnam National Petroleum Group. And this year, Dien Bien province aims to eliminate about 6,000 temporary and dilapidated houses for low-income households as part of a nationwide effort to eliminate temporary houses and dilapidated houses nationwide before December 31st, 2025. Dien Bien province commits to managing, allocating, and using the supported funds to support those in need. Yên Bai province was among the areas hardest hit by last year's historic floods, with 27,300 homes either destroyed or severely damaged. And in the days leading up to the Lunar New Year, workers are racing to complete new houses for displaced residents. 8 centralized resettlement areas are now near completion and will provide homes for more than 300 households.
At 8 p.m., the Athung resettlement area construction site remains bustling with activity. 300 officers and soldiers work the second shift, which continues until 10 p.m.
Despite the weather conditions, we are committed to working hard to complete the project as soon as possible.
The area features 35 houses built in the traditional style of the Thai ethnic group, with each 300 square meter plot located on a hillside within the commune. Athung village suffered the most devastating landslides in the province, resulting in 9 deaths and dozens of homes being completely buried.
Those that we lost are gone, but those who remain must move on. Without the government's support, we wouldn't have been able to overcome it.
3 kilometers away, the Lang Mung resettlement area in Tomo commune now houses 27 Dao ethnic families who were displaced by landslides. Each family received a 280 square meter plot of land. Thanks to government and community support, Bitch and other villagers have enough funds to build their new homes.
I feel reassured now. After finishing the roof, I still have money to buy pigs and chickens to celebrate Tet, about 10 trays or so, to invite families to come and celebrate the new house.
With stable homes and jobs, these villages that once endured great loss and suffering are making a fresh start.
The number of red light violations dropped significantly 2 days after heavier traffic fines were enforced. This highlights the effectiveness of higher fines and stricter enforcement in promoting traffic discipline. More in the following.
At the intersection of Phạm Hùng and Mễ Trì streets in Hanoi, traffic remains busy, but a noticeable change is evident. Vehicles move in order. The once common sight of motorbikes and scooters blatantly running red lights or driving against traffic has disappeared. However, some violations persist.
I used to think stopping at a red light was enough, but now I realize it's important to stop before crossing the line.
Such misunderstandings are common, and red light violations remain a key issue during the early days of implementing the new decree. The updated penalties are steep. Fines range from $150 to $240 for motorbikes and $700 to $800 for cars. While the hefty fines aim to deter violations, many cases stem from factors beyond the driver's control.
Sometimes, running a red light isn't the driver's fault. For example, the green light might have 15 seconds left, but it suddenly changes to yellow and red.
The Traffic Police Department has urged local authorities to review and synchronize traffic light systems. Outdated or manually controlled systems during rush hours contribute to these unintentional violations.
The system isn't fully synchronized yet. We focus on reminders for unintentional errors. However, intentional violations caught on camera will be strictly penalized.
To ensure fairness and accuracy, traffic police rely on surveillance cameras and recording equipment to document violations, as the absence of enforcement in certain areas still leads to occasional red line violations. However, with stricter monitoring and better awareness, compliance with traffic laws is steadily improving, paving the way for safer roads across the city.
Vietnam's tourism industry grew remarkably in 2024. Total tourism revenue reached $32 billion, up 1.2 times compared to 2023. Ho Chi Minh City led the country with 44 million visitors and revenue of $7.4 billion. Hanoi ranked second with nearly 28 million visitors and revenue of $4.3 billion. Quảng Ninh maintained its position in the leading group with more than 19 million visitors and total revenue of $1.8 billion. Khánh Hòa welcomed more than 10.6 million visitors with total revenue reaching $2 billion. Ninh Bình was not far behind with more than 8.7 million visitors and revenue of nearly $357 million. Other destinations such as Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu, Đà Nẵng, Thanh Hóa, Lâm Đồng, Kiên Giang, and Bình Định also recorded high numbers of visitors and revenue. Coming up next in our world news. U.S. investors race to comply with new tech rules. And Israel threatens to intensify Gaza bombing. Now moving on to our world news, U.S. investors in Chinese venture capital funds are racing to comply with new rules banning them from investing in China's high technology sectors, including artificial intelligence. The new measures by the Biden administration, which came into force on Thursday, impose civil and criminal penalties for U.S. entities that invest in Chinese companies involved in semiconductors, quantum computing, or AI systems that China's military could use. Under the new rules, U.S. investors must conduct legal due diligence carefully. Institutions with money tied up in Chinese investment funds must secure binding contractual assurance that their cash will not be used to buy companies that violate the rules. Many investors have responded by cutting back or pausing new investments in China. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday ordered the Russian government and the country's biggest bank, Sberbank, to build cooperation with China in artificial intelligence (AI). Russia has been striving to achieve self-sufficiency in high-performance chip, one of the most promising and crucial technologies of the 21st century. However, Western sanctions imposed on Moscow have resulted in the world's major producers of microchips halting exports to Russia, thereby limiting its AI ambitions. Russia currently ranks 31st of 83 countries regarding AI implementation, innovation, and investment on the UK-based Tortoise Media's Global AI Index. Poland's business operators are struggling to stay afloat with soaring energy prices and a challenging market situation, pushing them to the edge of bankruptcy after the European Union, EU, and the United States imposed multiple rounds of sanctions on Russia. More to follow.
Pyttel's Bakery is facing its toughest challenge so far, with the owner expressing deep concern about the business's future. To keep costs down, Pyttel has decided to stick with the old gas oven, rather than investing in a new, more efficient baking oven.
Many bakeries have closed down because it is hard for them to make money. Natural gas is getting more expensive, electricity is getting more expensive, and costs are rising. Therefore, the profit margins for us manufacturers are getting smaller and smaller.
Before the Russia-Ukraine conflict, 45% of Poland's natural gas demand came from imports from Russia. But as the EU imposed energy sanctions on Russia, the price of natural gas in Poland has skyrocketed.
This energy crisis, the shifts in the supply chain of energy commodities affects the overall cost for the companies. It's hard to expect the price drop. Right now we are changing the mix to our, let's say, more renewable sources, being less dependent on the import of, for example, natural gas from Russia.
According to a survey report by the Polish Economic Institute, 59% of companies complained that high electricity prices hindered their development.
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz threatened on Thursday that Israel would launch stronger attacks in Gaza unless Hamas agreed to release hostages and stop firing rockets at Israel. His remarks came after he visited the southern city of Netivot, which was targeted by 2 rockets fired from central Gaza in the early hours of Wednesday. The Israeli defense minister warned that if Hamas does not allow the release of Israeli captives soon, it will face strong strikes that Gaza has not witnessed in a long time. According to Arab mediators, talks aimed at securing a ceasefire and the release of hostages in Gaza appear to be deadlocked. And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.